Hi, everyone. Welcome to 13 Now. This is your afternoon update here at News Channel 13. And we do start with some breaking news that we're just getting in from the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office of a fatal shooting in the town of Greenfield. And I just got these details here. I'm going to read them off of my phone for you. This happened at 157 Howe Road in the town of Greenfield. A report of a woman who had been shot in the head. It was reported, according to police, that Joseph Kuva Sr., 74 years old, had just finished cleaning his gun. A 9mm piston, was loading the gun when it discharged and hit his wife in the head. Her name was Charlene Kuva, also 74 years old. Mrs. Kuva was in the other room at the time when she was hit. The bullet went through the wall before hitting her. This investigation is ongoing right now. Dan Levy's actually been working on this all day today. And again, these details just coming in. So we hope to have the latest from Dan coming up, starting live at 4. Let's get a check on your first warning forecast right now. Bring in Chief Meteorologist Paul Cayano. First full day of spring, Paul.
And it's a gorgeous one, Sabrina. Outside, I was just outside. Beautiful blue sky again. We anticipated some more clouds today. They came and went already. And we may get a few more later, but boy, that's not stopping that temperature. Check out the way it looks outside right now over downtown Albany. Fantastic. It's already up to 56 degrees, so it's higher than yesterday. 54 in Voorheesville, a lot more 50s showing up this afternoon than what we saw yesterday. A little less wind, that strong March sun on this first full day of spring. All adds up to a fantastic afternoon. First warning live Doppler radar scanning the skies over the capital region and coming up empty, which means it'll be dry for the rest of the day. You can see some clouds building to our north, to our west, just a weak front, but that's already put the brakes on, and we'll start to head back in the other direction, back toward Canada, in advance of the next system, which is down here in the mid-Mississippi Valley. See that big batch of rain near St. Louis and Memphis? That's the next storm heading our way. Going to take another 24 hours to at least get the clouds in here tomorrow, with the rain arriving on Thursday. So I think we'll have a beautiful afternoon in the 50s. Sunshine will mix with clouds. Tonight, more clouds build in. And ultimately, we're going to wind up with more clouds than sun, but with dry weather on Wednesday. You see here, we'll start the clock at 7 a.m. Plenty of clouds around for the rest of the day. But notice it stays dry into Wednesday night, with the first good batch of rain coming in first thing Thursday morning for the ride into work. With this storm, mild enough air that it's going to be just rain over us. The ride home for the kids later in the afternoon and evening. Trek home from work on Thursday will be wet. While we will get a bit of a break with this system moving out, you can see it here on Friday. It looks quiet. Then on Saturday, another system comes in, same storm track, but maybe a little bit colder, that some of the higher terrain can get some wet snow at the onset. But it looks like another predominantly rain situation to begin the weekend across the area. So the hour-by-hour forecast for today showing us right at 56 now. I think we'll hold there, if not climb a degree or two. 32 tonight, so back to temperatures near freezing. But this time of year is so great. Even with limited sun tomorrow, we'll manage to get into the upper 50s. Rain holding us back into the mid-50s on Thursday, a break on Friday, and more rain and chilly temperatures on Saturday, Sabrina. So spring is here. If it's not the temperatures that's giving it away, maybe the rain showers that are becoming a little more consistent in the forecast through the weekend.
Okay, and hopefully that Saturday forecast, I know you're keeping an eye on it, but hopefully we keep it just rain, because I think here we are. Now we'd like to just be done.
Yeah, at this point, I think a lot of folks are full steam ahead towards spring, especially with the calendar flipping over now. So rain would be more welcome, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Paul, thank you so much. We'll see you on air starting live at 4.
Okay.
Another story we are following very closely today over in the Berkshires in the town of Dalton, a series of car break-ins. We heard about a dozen over there. So let's bring in my colleague Tessa Bentulin. She is in the Berkshires right now. Tessa, what have you learned? And I understand you spoke with someone who unfortunately had their car broken into.
Yeah, so we're in Dalton right now. Sorry if the Wi-Fi or connection's a little bit spotty. Some service is not so great out here. But we spoke to the police station, and we also spoke to a woman whose family member got broken into. So what's really interesting about this case, usually with car break-ins is you're stealing money or jewelry or anything valuable, maybe even prescriptions or anything like that. But the police department says they were stealing car registrations. So they were just going into the car, any unlocked cars in just this one neighborhood that's right next to the police station, just a couple blocks down, just going in overnight on Sunday for 2-3 hours, going around a couple neighborhoods, checking every car that was unlocked, taking the registrations, and then dumping them just a couple hours later. Why? That's something the police department is still trying to figure out. So they gave us a map, the police department, of where all those car break-ins were happening in that neighborhood. So we went to each one of the houses, tried to see if anyone was home. It's the middle of the day, so most people aren't home, but a few people were. And we spoke to one woman who said, yeah, on Sunday night, I heard a car door open and close, but I didn't think anything of it because my neighbor is a nurse and she works overnight, so I thought it was her. And then we woke up the next day and we saw the car door open, the glove box open, and it was a family member who was from Maine. So she drove back to Maine and she said, well, we couldn't find the registration. We walked all up and down our neighborhood to see if we could possibly find it. And she found the registration just a few feet from where she lives. So very interesting here.
Yeah. So if people who are just joining us, we're speaking with my colleague Tessa Bentul, and she's in Berkshire County right now covering a story about a series of car break-ins and apparently people going into cars, opening up the glove compartments, Tessa, and taking out the paper registrations and then dumping them.
And then just dumping them.
Very interesting. I know you're working on gathering more details right now, and we look forward to learning more about what's going on there from you, starting live at 4. Tessa, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Thank you, Sabrina.
There was a huge rally today. We have some video we want to show you. This was at MVP Arena. Busloads of healthcare workers arrived at the state capitol, and take a look at this video. They arrived right outside the state capitol. You can see the egg over there, and then went over to the MVP Arena. These are people who work in hospitals, nursing homes, pharmacies, research labs, and their main focus for this rally was to talk about the governor right now putting her budget together, saying that it fails to grasp the gravity of the healthcare crisis. So we have more work that we're putting into this right now to find out more details on what happened at that rally. We had a crew there, and we'll have a full report on that starting live at 4. And also something we are following very closely today, as well as the rest of the country, the latest on possible criminal charges against former President Donald Trump. Again, the former president himself tweeting that, and I apologize, this video seems to be freezing up here, but that is Stormy Daniels, and she is, of course, at the center of all of this. A supposed hush money payment that the former president made to Stormy Daniels in 2016 is the focus of these possible criminal charges. Again, the former president himself put on social media that he expects to be charged today. So there's a lot of focus on beefing up security around the courthouse in Manhattan if this were to happen. But as of right now, as of 2/17 right now, there is no update on any formal charges being filed. But it is, of course, something we are following very closely, and we'll have that for you starting live at 4. So that is your 13 Now update on this Tuesday afternoon, March 21st. I'm Sabrina Dami. We'll see you on air on News Channel 13 starting live at 4.